It's the Bulls Podcast, episode 14.
Hey, Chicago Bulls fans! It's time for your Bulls Podcast. And here are your hosts, Marcus Couch and Wyse Black.
Welcome to the Bulls Podcast, coming to you from bullspodcast.com. It's where we'll bring you the latest news, reviews, rants, rumors, and opinions on the players, coaches, and the front office of the Chicago Bulls. My name is Marcus Couch, and with me is my co-host, Mr. Wyse Black.
Yo, what's up? What's good with all of my Bull lifers? I know I didn't do all of the yos, but I'm thinking about switching it up. But what's going on, Marcus, man? How you feeling? I'm feeling super good after this game.
Yeah, after this first win, boy, a lot happened since the last time we did a show, and not all of it for good. But We are going to talk about a lot of it here, including the Bulls waiving Omer Asik, the Turkish Hammer, and signing point guard Shaquille Harrison. So we finally have a Shaq on our team. Kris Dunn's injury with a bruised MCL. We'll talk about that. Zach coming out strong, but actually questions the coaching of the Bulls already. And we'll give you some post-game wrap-up on the game that just happened, the Bulls and the Charlotte Hornets. And we'll get to that right after this.
Bulls fans, remember to follow the show on social media at Bulls Podcast and at bullspodcast.com.
All right, we're back. And before we get started, I do just want to remind everybody we are available on Spotify now. So make sure you head to bullspodcast.com/Spotify. And that link will forward you right to the exact place you need to be, or you can just search Bulls Podcast. So check us out there. First item, we all kind of actually were hoping for this secretly, but it finally happened. The Bulls came to their senses and waived Omer Asik. And they put him on a waivers, and basically, as it turns out, the Bulls are on the hook for at least $14 million to the Turkish assassin. We acquired him in the Nikola Mirotic trade, and it looks like New Orleans put one over on us in that sense, because Nico is on fire and playing like an all-star this year for the Pelicans. Wasn't sad to see him go. He really didn't do much for us. He's going to get, I think, $11 million guaranteed this year and $3 million guaranteed for next year, and that's if nobody picks him up. But with bad case of arthritis in his joints and all the other ailments that he's had, it looks like his playing career is probably over, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, clearly. And yeah, the Bulls are obviously going to have to pay that full $14.3 million because, yeah, as we said, man, it's no surprise that no one is going to grab Omer. But I really liked the move. I really thought that it was pretty uncheap of the Bulls, which is surprising for this team. Even with us giving up as a Nico for the Omer Asik deal and still having to pay Nico, I'm really hoping that it turns out well for us, especially after tonight, after looking at how well Chandler Hutchison played. I really think that this kid has a lot of potential, and hopefully his career can turn out overall better than Nico's. Although, like you said, Nico is looking like the much better player right now, but it was a move that had to happen. And as I said, I'm just glad that the Bulls made it. It was a very gutsy move that needed to be done. So, touche to them.
So after making that salary room, the Bulls then brought in Shaquille Harrison, who was waived from Phoenix. So now we have 2 point guards that were actually on the Phoenix roster last year, Harrison and last year, Harrison actually played in 23 games, got 6.6 points per game, 2.4 assists, 47% from the field. But his 3-point percentage actually sucks. I think it's like only 26% or something like that. So have you seen any tape on Shaquille Harrison yet?
Yeah, I've seen him play. I've seen him a bit. The Suns, one of the Suns commentators called him Baby Westbrook. And when I first heard this, I was like, really? Until I went back and I watched, a bit of tape on him, 20 minutes worth of tape on this kid. And from looking at his highlights, he seems to be very, very athletic. I saw some really good tip dunks from him. He catches alley-oops very well, and he's pretty fast on the court as well. But as you said, with that three-point shooting, that's clearly a problem of his. But this kid is a stellar defender. I also saw that out of him as well. He's one of those gritty, hard-nosed defenders that are going to dive for loose balls, and he's going to get all up into his man. So, I mean, I like the pickup. I don't know how the Bulls are going to use him, so we'll have to wait and see with that one. I don't know. We shall see.
It's interesting to see with all of the different point guards in the mix now. Now we're log jammed with point guards now, even though Kris Dunn is actually out right now. But yeah, it's interesting to see. So another thing that happened this week, we all watched Zach LaVine kind of blossom. He is out, man, and he is every bit the all-star, and every bit in terms of the down to the penny of that contract, he's earning it. And even though the Bulls started out 0-3, it's clear he's going to be the face of the franchise this year. So there's no 3 alphas. There's no 2 alphas. Yeah. We're not worried about Jabari being an alpha. It's Zach. This is Zach's team. He's averaged 30 points throughout the first 4 games of the season. And the only other Bull to come out of the gate with 4 30-point games is Michael Jordan. He actually had, I think, 7 or 8 in one particular year. So Zach's got a long way to go to do that, but with today's league and the way scoring goes, I think he might be able to do it.
Hey, man, he looks amazing. Like, I'm loving what I'm seeing out of Zach LaVine. That's why I tweeted, anybody who's hating on Zach LaVine right now, man, shoot yourself, man. Stop it. You know what I'm saying? Shoot yourself in the foot, because this guy is balling out, and I'm proud of him. So he's coming to the realization that this is his team. And clearly with Lloyd Marketing being out, right? Like, Zach LaVine is taking over the game, or at least in this game that just took place. He took over that game like a star should. Down the stretch in the fourth quarter, he was like, give me the ball. I'm going to take us to the promised land. And that's exactly what he did. Zach LaVine looked every bit like a $78 million player out there. Heck, he looked like a $100 million player out there today. And he's continuing to do it, because with 4 consecutive 30-point games, nobody can deny that this guy is putting in the work, and he wants to be the star of this team.
I notice now he's getting double teamed all the time.
Yes.
And when Lowry comes back, the boy teams are going to regret that.
Yes.
Big time. They're going to throw a high pass right in the lane. Lowry's just got to reach right up and grab it, go in for the dunk.
Another aspect of his game that I saw tonight that I didn't expect from him was his playmaking ability. Like, he actually took over that game as a playmaker in the fourth quarter. And I really felt like he and Cam Payne had some really good cohesiveness with Zach LaVine playing the point and Cam Payne playing the off ball. Zach really helped Cam Payne shine, although he was shooting like lights out. That was miraculous shooting from Cam Payne. But Zach LaVine, stellar game tonight.
Yeah. So the one thing that we did mention here, that we're going to mention here, is that in the last game, the third game of the season, Zach actually did call out some of the coaching calls, and he said, we've got to run the right sets out there. We would have run the right plays, got the ball to the right people. I think we would have been all right. We were playing free in the first half and aggressive. We weren't calling a lot of plays. The press basically asked how the Bulls are doing at recognizing who has the hot hand, and he's basically saying, we got to do better than that. We need to do better than what we're doing as far as that goes. That could be coaching. That could be the substitutions that Fred's putting in the game. I kind of think that we need to pull Jabari Parker out in some of those last-second situations. But, you know, what's your take on just not only just Lowry's comment, but some of the coaching that's happened over the past 4 games?
Zach LaVine actually had a point, because I feel like the Bulls have been in the game all of the last 3 games. Like, the Bulls will be in the game during the first half. Then it'll seem like once it comes to the second half, things will just fall apart. And I think, like Zach said, it would be a thing where it seems like Fred will, like, I don't know, try to get tricky and switch things up, like maybe do some other type of play calling, or just go away from what they did in the first half or early in the game, going away from what they did to be successful. So as far as the coaching, I'm not digging it so far. I mean, I really feel like Fred Hoiberg, he has a grasp on this team, because he has a lot of young players and they are listening to him. but I don't feel like Zach was wrong for calling him out. I don't think it'll be another Jimmy Butler situation, but Fred has to do his part, and he has to really get this team in the right position as they should be.
I agree on that. And there's just been some bizarre substitutions, and obviously we're not privy to the plays that are being called, but it just doesn't seem to mesh. And I know it's only been 4 games, but geez, it just, you got Kenyatta over there on his Bullseye Facebook group calling for Fred's head on a platter after every one of the 3 games already. It's like, you got to give him a little bit of a chance, but hey, he's right in some of his criticisms. So
yeah, especially even trying to find pairing. I feel like the pairing of Bobby Portis and Jabari Parker out there it kills us on defense. It definitely kills us on defense. But what I will say about Fred, though, I give him points for playing Felicio over Rolo tonight. He recognized that Rolo was playing horribly these past few games, and, he just took a shot in the dark and threw Felicio out there, and it paid off.
Yeah. All right, so Wyse, we're going to get into the game and all of the details that happened against Charlotte, and we're going to do that right after this. I've got something new that I've talked about the last couple weeks. It's Bulls.fm. It's a website that I put together. It's a great network of all of the different independent Chicago Bulls podcasts that are out there. So just go to Bulls.fm in your browser. We're going to have a live streaming audio channel pretty soon. But in the meantime, here's who I've got as far as a lineup. We've got us, the Bulls podcast. We got Bulls Gold with Edward Schuler, who you heard week. We got Bulls HQ. Chicago Bullseye with C-Red Fred, Ball on Bulls with Big Dave and Chris, who we've had on the show, the Bulls Beat with Doug Bonus, and the Big Red Bus, which is with Doug and Fred at the same time. So all the shows get automatically updated every hour, so it checks everybody's feed every single hour, so you're guaranteed that the site is always going to be 100% current with everybody's podcast. So you can enjoy the best Bulls podcasts wherever you happen to be at any time. So check it out at bulls.fm. Okay, so let's talk about the game. This is the first win of the year for the Chicago Bulls. We played at the UC and beat the Charlotte Hornets by a slim margin of 112 to 110. It was pretty close down to the wire. I think, in fact, if Charlotte had another couple seconds, they probably would have tied this one up. So let's officially call this one Cam Payne's coming out party. He's finally making a believer out of me and some of the other Bulls fan base, shooting 7 out of 11 in terms of just 3-pointers. Man, he played 30 minutes, just had 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, it looks like, 1 blocked shot. What's up with him? He's got 21 points. So his plus or minus was a dead 0. So he didn't hurt us this game. I don't know, man. I don't know what to think if this is a one-time thing. I thought it was kind of weird that he was calling out other players. It's like, is this Cam Payne we're looking at here? It's barking at other players like this? What?
You know what? I'll attribute this to consistent minutes. Since Kris Dunn has gone down, it's early. Still, it's early. So maybe this could just be, maybe this dude is just getting super lucky, like miraculously lucky. But I feel like he's taking advantage of the playing time that he's getting. The Cam Payne hears a lot of the noise coming from the Bulls fans. He knows that a lot of people are down on him and don't want him on this team. And also, this is Cam Payne's 4th year in the league, so he has a lot to prove as well because this is a contract season for him. So I really think that Cam Payne is just trying to make the most of the minutes that he's receiving out there. And, man, the basketball guys were with him tonight because that shooting that – man, I was jumping out of my seat like almost every time he shot the ball. Like I couldn't believe it. But Cam Payne, he showed up and he showed out tonight. He actually played pretty good defense as well. Like this was his best game as a Chicago Bull, hands down.
Definitely. I think this was his career game, and I hope it's not his last. I hope he can continue with some consistency at this thing and then we're not going to be so eager to trade him or bring in these other guards and all that. So looking forward to that. And I got to say, maybe he even had a better game than Dunn did when Dunn played the last game. I don't know.
Man, I hope that Fred recognizes what they did tonight, meaning Zach being the on-ball point guard and having Cam Payne play the off-ball position, because that clearly worked tonight.
Yeah.
that worked super well.
Yeah. So Zach, Cam Payne's running mate, let's just say, was out there again doing Zach things, and he put up another 30 points. And it's just unreal. He's got 32 points. He shot 10 for 22, 1 for 5 from 3-point range, but he had 11 out of 12 free throws and one that he should have missed at the end of the game, but the damn thing went in. Of all the luck, right? I'm really, as we said before, I'm really, really impressed with what Zach's doing. I think he's the brightest star right now on the Bulls, and if anything, that's the guy that's going to keep our attention. And hopefully the attention of defenses, especially when Lowry comes back.
You see how much they were double teaming Zach. I mean, clearly he's the most pivotal point of our offense right now, and teams are recognizing that. In the scouting report, they know that you have to guard Zach LaVine, and I really feel like he's opening up windows for other guys to score out there,
especially scoring over 30 a game, because if I'm a defensive player on an opposing team, I'm going to go, he ain't getting 30 on me tonight. No way.
Exactly. Especially if that doesn't turn out how they expected and they have to double Zach. Man, that's a clear cut for pick and rolls. Like, he even got Felicio a couple points off pick and rolls.
Yeah, Felicio. Don't get me started. The guy couldn't even dunk today. He's like 7 feet tall. He couldn't even dunk.
But man, the guy had 8 points and 7 boards or something. That's the best game I've seen out of Felicio in a minute. I'm guessing with that 7 boards, but he was out there rebounding and boxing out. Like, he looked good.
Yeah, he played 15 minutes, shot 3 of 4. It was a plus 11 in ratings. 5 rebounds, looks like 1 steal. It probably just landed in his lap. Who knows? But 9 points, okay, we'll take that. But we need more than that out of his contract. Like, this is the minimum. Like, if you're saying this is an $8 million guy, tonight's role was the minimum that you should accept. Like, this should be his off night, only getting 9 points. So that, and, they've started Wendell Carter Jr. now. And he just, on the 4th game, finally got a free throw. Couldn't make him. I think he made 1 out of 4, something like that, right? What was he? I'm trying to see. He was 2 for 6. Man, that sucked.
Yeah.
Not too good there, but he's learning, and he's a rookie, and he's not always going to get those calls, but I think that they need to start setting him up for some plays in the post and make sure that he can get those fouls. I don't know if he's got to kick his leg out like half the league does to get the call or whatever, but, and I thought he was... Isn't he supposed to be good at 3-pointers too?
It looks like he's a bit scared to take them right now. Or maybe Fred just isn't calling plays for him. Matter of fact, I think that's the case. That actually looks like that's the problem. Fred isn't calling plays for him to hit those threes or to be open for any of them. Really, I feel like he's using Wendell Carter Jr. like a conventional center. He isn't using all of the skills that he showcased in the summer league, because during the summer league, Wendell Carter Jr. showed that he could shoot the 3. He showed that he was a great passer. He showed that he was a great pick and roll player. I mean, it looked like limitless tools on offense in the summer league, and that's actually what I would like to see more of. But looking at Wendell Carter Jr. early on, even from a personal perspective, he looks very frustrated. And he looks like he's frustrated maybe because he doesn't get the game fully just yet. He's still a rookie. And while we all say that he is very polished, which I think he still is, but he still has to get over that learning curve of being a rookie in the NBA. A lot of the times I see like the ball get slapped out of his hand, and maybe because he isn't, like, after he catches a rebound, he doesn't hold it above his head, or even just situations where he doesn't showcase good post moves. And I don't know if that's because, he's thinking too much, or if, he's thinking about messing up, or whatever the case may be. But I'm seeing him just taking a lot of turnaround jumpers as opposed to driving to the hole or fully backing this man down for a hook or something like that. But like we said, he's a rookie, so I'm not going to be too hard on him. And he still hustles out there, and he plays great defense and grab boards when we actually need him. So Wendell Carter Jr. will be fine.
Oh, yeah. Tonight, what did Bobby Portis do? He played 19 minutes and got 4 points and 7 rebounds. We need him to step up a little bit more than that, don't you think? If he's going to go for that 6-man well, he can't really be 6-man if he's starting all this time. But I really think that he's been kind of timid. And he had one really awesome dunk in the game that looked pretty aggressive, and he tried to give somebody the stare down. But I don't know. It just doesn't seem to be clicking for Bobby in the last couple of games.
It looks like Jabari Parker took his juice as the 6th man. That's what it's looking like to me. I don't know. This looks like, I don't want to say more of, what he looked like last season. Because when Fred tried to start him, I think it was 5 games last season, he didn't play too well. But I don't want to chalk it up as that. I just think that Bobby Portis needs to, get in the groove. I think that he needs to have better plays run for him and get better shots, because Bobby Portis is actually a 3-point shooter, and I haven't seen him take many threes. I didn't see him take not 1 3 this game.
He took 1 and missed.
Did he? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I still think that he has to find better ways to get better shots off of whatever it may be, pick and rolls. And because when I look at other teams, I see, even tonight, I saw a lot of players being able to get open from 3, and even like a lot of pick and roll baskets. And I just don't see Bobby in a lot of those situations. So I'm going to put it on Fred Hoiberg a little bit. But Bobby Portis, he still has the energy out there. He's still out there playing with that fire. But I don't know. He just needs to get his head in the game, I guess.
Yeah. So what's your take on how Ryan Arcidiacono is playing in the games?
I'm enjoying him. I'm actually, besides that throwaway at, I believe it was the end of the third quarter when he threw the ball away. He threw it too hard on an inbounds pass to Chandler Hutchison, and it rolled off his knee. But besides that, man, I've been liking what I'm seeing from Ryan Arcidiacono. He just looks like one of those safe system type point guards. He doesn't make a whole lot of mistakes. He hits open shots when he's called upon to take them. And even in the Bulls' first 3 games here, he's been averaging I believe 7 assists a game. So he's actually a pretty decent passer as well. He has really good court vision, and tell you the truth, I like his basketball IQ. He looks like just one of those system point guards that just, he'll run your system to perfection. But I don't know. I'm liking what I'm seeing out of him so far, and I'm changing my tune on him, from just last year, because I practically hated him last year as a player. But he's coming around, man. Yeah.
Another guy that kind of didn't do too much in this past game was Antonio Blakeney, much to my dismay. He seems to be subbing in for Zach, and only got 4 points tonight, but only played 8 minutes. So he had a kind of a limited role. Maybe he was frustrated or something happened, but I definitely expect more out of AB coming up in the next few games. So overall, though, I got stuck watching the Charlotte feed on League Pass, and that's never fun to hear those announcers. So to me, the game kind of drug on a little bit. In terms of just here in Charlotte. But, I think Charlotte came out, gave him a good fight. It was great to see Tony Parker playing again. That was pretty cool. All in all, I think it was a good, nice, tight, close game. So what's your overall feel for game 4 and how we did?
Early on, like the last 3 games, I really felt like the Bulls played well in the first half. I really felt like the difference in this game come the second half probably had to be Cam Payne.
Yeah.
It was all Cam Payne. And maybe this is just a lightning in a bottle, or whatever the case may be. But I really felt like he was the main reason why we held our own in that second half, because coming out early, the Bulls started to fall apart, and I really actually started to get scared early on. But Cam Payne, he drank the water from Space Jam and just came out looking like Mike, because I mean, he killed it. But no. And you have to give credit to what Jabari Parker did as well. I thought that Jabari Parker, he held his own coming off of the bench too. The Bulls' rotational defense, it looked suspect at times, but I thought that they got stops when they really needed to. Like you said, it was a really, really close game, but with the defense in the correct spots, meaning the defense, they came along and played great defense when we needed to. And the heroics of Cam Payne and Zach LaVine is basically what, won us this game.
One thing I will say, since we've had a slew of games here since our last podcast, in all of those ESPN trade machine segments, we found ways to trade guys and, like Cam and Justin Holiday. I'm kind of glad Justin Holiday is around. I think it's, especially with Valentine out, and I don't know how Valentine's going to come in after his ankle injury. I think he's out a few more weeks. But I'm really glad that we've got the guys that we do. I don't see any need for any of the guys that we waived or let go or anything like that. I think that we held on to the pieces that we need at this time. So I'm very excited that we at least won it and got to crack the seal as far as the win column goes. You don't want to be known as somebody with just as bad of a record as the Lakers. But overall, I thought it was a good game. Robin Lopez sat out the whole game, which I thought was a little strange. Usually he's not like that unless they're going to wind it down. But yeah, I hear you. Hopefully this benching will get a fire under his tail a little bit, and he'll start to play a little bit better the next time out.
Felicio. All the way, man. Felicio, he surprised me this game. I enjoyed him out there.
Yeah. So did pretty good. So we got some other games coming up on the schedule here that it's really going to be interesting to see, because we got a lot of actually really tough teams that are coming up. So we got Atlanta. Wait, let's see. Friday, we're going to play Charlotte again on Friday.
Back to
Charlotte.
back.
Yeah. And then we're going to play Atlanta, and then the Golden State Warriors, and then another round against Denver, and then Indiana. So a lot of really good games that are coming around, and I'm really looking forward to it. And then you got Houston coming a couple weeks from now, New York. Then you got the Pelicans in New Orleans. So then you're going to finally get our Bobby Portis, Nikola Mirotic matchup that we've all been dreaming about for the last year.
Can't wait.
Yeah, so a lot going on. Well, we are going to take a quick break, and we'll come right back and wrap this one up for you. All right, Bulls fans, let's wrap this one up, shall we? Hey, remember, we are counting on you to help fan the flames and to spread the word about this show to every Bulls fan that you can find. If you're out and about the city or wherever you are and you see somebody else wearing some Bulls gear, a Bulls coat, Bulls hat, whatever it happens to be, say, hey, man, are you listening to the Bulls podcast yet at bullspodcast.com? They'll thank you for it later, believe me. There's a lot of cool things that we're going to be doing this part of the season and as the season progresses. So we need as many listeners as we can get. And we are here for you just as you are here for us. And on that note, Wyse, what's your closing thoughts of this episode, number 14 in the books?
Number 14, baby. It's been a great journey, and we're still early on in it, but I'm loving it, man. And I feel like we're getting better and better every episode. I'm loving all of the interaction that we're getting from, just the fans around the Chicago Bulls, and man, I'm enjoying every step of it, all of it. So I want to thank everybody who continues to listen to us. I appreciate it dearly. And man, it's your man Wyse Black. Y'all get up with me on social media at @radical_creator on Twitter and Instagram, and appreciate it.
Yeah. And I did not, by the way, buy any Mega Millions tickets. I laid $300 down on the Bulls.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
Oh, yeah, you did. You were just in Vegas. Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
I took 300 and put it down. So hopefully I can win. I think it's like $180 on that if the Bulls actually go over 28 wins. So I'm pulling for you, boys. You got 27 more to go. It'll make me a semi-happy rich man. How about that?
I'm not nervous, man. We're going to get it together.
All right. Well, until next time, thanks for listening, everybody. Go Bulls.
Go Bulls.
Hey, Bulls fans! This is your Bulls championship announcer, Ray Clay, saying so long, everybody. Go Bulls!